Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. There's an article from newsbtc.com titled Why XRP Isn't Surging in Tandem with the Rest of the Cryptocurrency Market. Now, you might think, oh, wow, so Moon Lambo, what are the reasons that you disagree with that? And I want to, before even getting to that point, I want to say this. I don't even acknowledge the premise of this. I've got some charts that I want to show you, nothing too terribly in-depth. Not that I'm some big chart guy. I'm not, and I'm not going to pretend to be. But there's some very obvious things that you can see with your own eyeballs that will make it easy to see that even setting a premise such as this is XRP not surging in tandem with the rest of the crypto market. It doesn't make no damn bit of sense. So I'm going to share with you some perspective there. I've also got an article I'm going to save for the end from Cointelegraph titled Poloniex allows up to $10,000 in daily withdrawals for KYC-less accounts. Now, KYC standing for Know Your Customer. And this sounds like something to me that perhaps Bitcoin maxis and perhaps people a bit more on the anarchy side of things might be all for it. I don't know about that. Saying that KYC is not necessary. This is the same type of reason that I don't think that privacy coins will necessarily be with us for the long haul. But I'll share with more thoughts towards the end of the video. Before we go any further, though, if you would please delicately tap that like button. And if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP, girl, go ahead and treat yourself by subscribing to the Moon Lambo channel. You deserve it. All right, let's go ahead and dive in here. XRP was not among the gainers as the cryptocurrency market attracted capital of up to $12 billion in a day. The Ripple blockchain's native asset, which, oh my God, that's steaming my vegetables too much. They're getting soggy. No. There is no Ripple's native asset. Blockchain, no. XRP is just a cryptocurrency utilizing distributed ledger technology. Ripple doesn't own that. There's nothing proprietary about that. But anyway, so their mean XRP slumped by up to 2.19% on Monday to establish an intraday low of 0.194 cents. The downside move negated XRP's gains registered during the Sunday trading system by 1.38%. At the same time, it pushed the cryptocurrency's 24-hour adjustment performance down by 0.77%. In contrast, other top coins were faring better. Bitcoin, the leading cryptocurrency, was up by 5.41% on a 24-hour adjusted time frame as of 1300 UTC. The second largest, Ethereum, was similarly trading 2.86% higher, showing little to no signs of upside exhaustion. Now, there's some clear reasons that this is completely nonsensical. So there is a short time frame of a couple days, and then there's a story written to pick on XRP because, where do you think these people from News BTC are coming from ideologically? From a tribal perspective, might you think that they're very pro Bitcoin and ideologically what's behind it? Well, when stuff like this pops up, it makes me question and think, hey, perhaps that's the case here, because I don't think XRP gets a fair shake. Now, I know part of it is that these XRP articles, part of the reason they're all over the place is that clearly they're getting a ton of clicks. Otherwise, even crypto media wouldn't be doing this, because they'd still, put all sorts of FUD out there about XRP, but clearly the drive here is people that want to read about Ripple and XRP. That's why they're making the headlines what they are. And so in that sense, you can't blame them, but I can blame them for putting out this nonsensical narrative with a premise that just doesn't make any sense. Let me go ahead and illustrate something. If you look, here's the weekly chart. So look at this. I know they're small. I just pulled up Live Coin Watch here, but we don't have to do some sort of in-depth crazy analysis to get the point that I'm going to make. Look at the top 10 cryptocurrencies, okay? Out of the top 10, throw out Tether because that's a stable coin, of course. What is in common with the other 9 cryptocurrency weekly charts? They're on the right of your screen here. I'm circling right here. What's in common is that they look almost exactly the same. They're all following the same pattern. So if you happen to take a day or two out of that and you find that you can say, oh, whoa, why is this XRP down? Well, that would be why. Let's take a look at a bigger picture. I just went back. I arbitrarily chose this date. I think it's officially will explain my point. This is CoinMarketCap. I went to their website here because I was able to put in custom dates here. So I just went back from January 1st of 2015 to today, December 23rd, 2019, showing the price action here. All right. And you can see, here's the XRP chart. Next, I'm going to show you the Ethereum chart, which is this. Okay, so it looks pretty similar, right? We know that there's a huge run-up. That's the most obvious part, admittedly, is, late 2017, early 2018. It ran up, and now here's Bitcoin. And you can see that, especially other than 2019, just look at, you can see that to the far right out there, okay? Other than 2019, these all three look very strikingly similar, right? So the big picture action, it was all samey, correct? Okay, now take a look at 2019. Bitcoin did run up, and altcoins, not just XRP, but Ethereum and everyone else, you can see that the dominance of altcoins, it's gone down quite a bit. In fact, I mentioned in just my last video that Bitcoin dominance in 2019, if I'm recalling the numbers properly, it went from 51% to, as recorded today, 69%? Let me scroll up here. Yeah, there you go, 69.69%. So it went up. It's not because XRP is not performing specifically. And even if you want to talk about year-to-date stuff, Jesus, like you're talking about arbitrarily selecting a timeline just to fulfill a narrative, and this needs to be called out for what it is. So it just doesn't make any sense to me to even have a story of this nature, unless you're just looking for clicks, which I think is what they're probably doing here. And then they've got this whole other section, which I don't think it's really necessary to run through. I've kind of talked about this topic, but they go into XRP FUD. They're talking about, that Ripple's $10 billion valuation after a $200 million Series C funding round. And then they talk about, this is another piece that I covered recently. They talked about that topic on CNBC. And then they got Tone Vase and Block TV. And so I've talked about all that, so I'm not going to run through that in this video. But I don't like the narrative, and they need to stop doing this. It's disingenuous, and it can mislead people, especially if they're newer to the world of crypto. All right, next, here's a tweet that I came across up in my Twitter's feed from Brady Niels. They wrote this: would it make sense to start a podcast now called What Bitcoin Didn't? Instead of What Bitcoin Did, huh? In a decade where we will look back and see at least a few saw it coming. The similarities between USD versus Bitcoin circa 2012 and Bitcoin versus XRP in 2020 are eerily similar. And then he also wrote in a tweet following that, crypto is the breeding ground for black swans with the financial industry. All bets are on the table behind closed doors backstage at the theater called the global economy. Where we can take it is up to us because the transfer of value is coming. I just thought it was a fun tweet, two tweets, and I thought I'd share it with you. But conceptually, yeah, so Bitcoin clearly not being used for what people a decade ago thought it would be used for, because technologically it's not possible. Unless you can get Lightning up and running, but even then I still think the whole premise of what it does, it's somewhat antithetical to just the core beliefs that Bitcoin maximalists have always maintained in terms of lack of centralization, because it's Lightning requires pre-funded accounts. It just does, which makes it a little bit more centralized. But such is life. I don't know. I can't see, and this is why. I appreciate the Bitcoin maxis back in the early days getting this all going, so that other cryptocurrencies had a chance to exist. But I tell you, I think these guys, if they don't get with it and find a more rational position, I think they're going to be left holding bags that may not be worth anything in the future. And I certainly don't offer financial advice. I'm just a regular everyday Joe Schmo in the XRP community. Don't buy or sell because of me. That would be stupid. But even so, if you're just a Bitcoin maxi and that's it, good luck, because your cryptocurrency is not being adopted, period. There's more and more people speculating about it, but if you're talking about real world utility, no, that is not happening. All right, now here's a tweet from Kyle Frank, who tagged me along with fellow XRP YouTuber Kevin Cage, and wrote this: tired of all the 2019 FUD surrounding crypto. I can't even escape it on the freeway. LOL, looking forward to 2020 and your guys' great content. And then there's a picture here of a truck. So I guess he took a picture of this. It's a FUD truck. You'll just have to look at the screen to see what I'm talking about. It's just a little truck here with the FUD logo, which stands for I don't know. I don't see these trucks in my area where I live, so I'm not sure. But how about that, a FUD truck? Anyway, since Kyle Frank went ahead and tagged me, I just wanted to say hello. Thank you for tagging me, sir, and shout out to you. All right, now from Cointelegraph, Poloniex allows up to $10,000 daily withdrawals for KYC-less accounts. Cryptocurrency exchange Poloniex announced a new account tier dubbed Level 1, allowing for up to $10,000 in daily withdrawals without requiring full Know Your Client (KYC) onboarding. I don't think a whole lot of first world countries are going to be on board with that concept. Anyway, according to the announcement published by the exchange on December 19th, the new account tier has been created in reaction to user feedback. And I read that and I was like, okay, so a lot of Bitcoin maxi / anarchists out there that are sending you messages. So anyway, the post reads, "We've heard your feedback time and time again about wanting to use Poloniex without giving up your identity. We've wanted to make this a reality for a while now, and are sorry it is taking us longer than we'd like." To me, in terms of like major adoption, I just don't know how this is forward progress. Tell me if you think I'm missing something, but I'm highly skeptical of that. No. And it's the whole reason that, like, the John McAfee, remember talking about some time ago, I don't know, within the last month and a half, whenever he was in the news about how he's launching his decentralized exchange explicitly to avoid this type of stuff. And so I understand if there's no central authority to shut it down, okay, super duper, but in terms of that money flowing into bank accounts, you can certainly prevent that. There are local rails. And so I just don't see how something like this is gonna go far. Okay, I mean, if there's some little segment of the population out there that conducts business this way and they're not hampered by local regulations, okay, cool. I just don't think that this is the right way forward, though. But anyway, that's it for this video. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!